the one, the unfortunate thing about some of the injuries, especially with the receivers, is that you would like to see, or at least I would like to see, some of these young guys on the field to see who is going to take advantage of the opportunity. Because with no Brandon Ayuk, with no Demarcus Robinson, probably for the first 3 games, and by the way, for folks who don't know, I think he pled no contest to a DUI sometime in the summer, and Addison from the Vikings had a similar issue, and the NFL suspended him for 3 games. So I think people assume that Robinson is going to get suspended for around that time. So I would love to see a Jacob Cowing or a Ricky Pearsall on the field just to see, because I think, fantasy wise, people are expecting Pearsall to kind of be Brock Purdy's go-to. I think there's a little bit of a comparison to how McConkey played last year, because they were drafted, sort of around the same area of the draft. But I would love to see Pearsall. I want to see, how he looks. People say, he's faster than you think, but then other people say like he struggles to, with contact. And then we have Cowing, who, we know that Kyle didn't really like him in his rookie season, and every time it seemed like they wanted to get him to do something. It was like a bubble screen, and then he would go long, and they'd throw it out of bounds, and that was it. That's all we saw of him. The fact that he's got to miss this opportunity with the hamstring is not great for him, because I think it's an opportunity after his spring that they thought that he had shown real signs of improvement. Like, he really needs to get on that field. I would love to see Pearsall. You don't want to see too much of Pearsall, because I think he showed enough at the end of last year where they do believe he's going to be a player. But there's so much opportunity. That's why Watkins, getting the ball as many times as he did, as he got it, was kind of cool to see. It's like, okay, they want to see these guys on the field. I'm just bummed that, Cowing still just cannot get out there and show his stuff. I think this is kind of a put up or shut up preseason for him, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, I am listening to all the national fantasy people just like you are, and I get it from their standpoint. There is a huge target, share open with Ayuk not being there and with Debo being gone. Um, and who's gonna fill that spot beyond the fact that I think that and we're in a fantasy league together. I don't know how much I should be saying on here, but I even after CMC and George fill their bellies with targets, I don't know. There's still going to be plenty of targets to go around, and we haven't seen JJ. And I don't know at this point if this is holdout or if he's injured. And so, Bill, you would still think that JJ and Ricky would both um have plenty of target shares, and even still, if you factor those in, there should still be targets for other players.
Yeah.
And who those other players are going to be, like you, to your point, we can only be left to guess.
You mentioned JJ, and I just assume that he's going to be back. But as we know, on this team and in the Bay Area, calf injuries often lead to some really bad stuff. Kevin Durant's Achilles issue started as a calf injury. I think this is the second time JJ's had this calf thing happen. So, and this is, how last season McCaffrey's thing started supposedly as a calf injury. So I shouldn't even
started as a calf injury.
And yeah, Dre. And so I shouldn't even, take that for granted that he's going to be there. So there may be even more possibilities for opportunity. And but the one that we always fall back on is like the only constant, as long as he stays healthy, to me, is George, because he's just always there. And McCaffrey, if McCaffrey is 80% of who he was 2 years ago, he's still going to be in the mix. And I hope he's even more than that. So